Huh?
Right out of that. All right, let's raise our hands for questions for Coach. Start in the back right there. Right.
How's it going, Coach?
Good.
2 games under your team's belt, Villanova on the docket next weekend. What have you learned from these first 2 games you're going to need to implement in practice this next week to have a good shot at taking them down?
Well, you know, I do think we made strides from our last game. We weren't very good defensively, and the things where we took some steps forward today, the things that we had talked about that we had to do better defensively, we did that today. Do we have to get a lot better? We have to get a lot better. Our guards are going to have to, against Villanova, we're going to have to guard guards into post. Des went to that a little bit tonight where he was just putting guards into post and trying to post there when they were looking to try to get some buckets. But you know, as long as we keep trying to improve, and I do think that we did today. The things that we worked on after the first game, and we came out today, and I thought we were really consciously locked in. I thought we did a better job with our scouting report than we did the first game, you know, overall. And obviously, Des, who I've got great respect for, is going to do just a great job there. They do a lot of things that we do too. So I mean, you would expect that. But it was, you know, we took care of the ball. We rebounded the ball. We wanted to do that. We did a better job blocking out than we did the first game. We got to the offensive boards. I thought we made better decisions in training. We did a lot of good things today, and as the season goes on, we'll have to continue to get better there and take none of it for granted. But overall, there was some good things for a lot of guys today.
Ryan Shumpert, then Kenny Hawkins, and Mike Wilson.
What all did Olivier do well today? How much has he grown as a rebounder?
Well, he's grown a lot in a lot of different areas, and you know, I don't, again, I would tell you this, I still don't think he's even close to scratching the surface where he can be as he continues to understand the game the way he needs to, and now he's going to have to learn to deal with scouting reports. You know, when people, can he continue to make the effort to get to the offensive boards when there's a conscious effort to block him out? Can he block out? Can he continue to, I thought he really showed the best poise that he's had since he's been here when he got the ball in the low post. He's a good mid-range shooter, no question. Excellent three-point shooter. He has been since he's been here, but that was his primary focus. And we told him that's the byproduct of all the other things. And when he plays with rhythm, when he shoots it, I can tell you, I think most of us think he's going to go in because he's a worker and he's worked at that, but starting to understand more how to develop his game from the inside out, his both offensively and defensively, has been his biggest jump.
Coach, I know it's about the game, but talk about the emotions of yourself and your players facing a former coach and good friend.
Well, it's always tough because, you know, this time of year we're all trying to establish what we're trying to do as a team, and it's tough. I mean, I can only tell you I love Desmond Oliver. I do. He has had a lot to do with where we are right now. I mean, when we go back when we first got here, you know, he was with me from day one when I got here basically, and did an incredible job doing his job for us. And I'm excited because Des has been in the business a long time, and I think anybody that knows Des would say that he's a grinder. You know, he's always he's relentless in everything that he does. He's waited a long time for the opportunity that he now has at East Tennessee State. He's deserving of it. And he's going to do a great job. He will. And when I think about he and his family, I mean, I've watched them grow up, and he's just it's tough when you ask it because again we know each other. You know, he and I got to share some moments before the game back in our locker room, which was neat because again, think about it, he's been a big part of my life for 6 years, and all at once it's like he's there building that, but. We'll be pulling for him. We certainly will because of not only, I mean, I think you saw before the game some of the players obviously that knew him hugged him, and because they know that he was a huge part of what we tried to do here the last 6 years.
Rick, with Olivier's three-point shooting, when did you get comfortable with him actually consistently taking that in game beyond just him being a good shooter outside of that?
You know what, Mike? I was always comfortable with him taking, but I wasn't comfortable with him wanting to search it out. That was where he was going to be validated. If I can make threes, I won't be. I said, you're too good a player. I said, you need to use your ability. I mean, he's got touch. I mean, he can fly. I mean, you saw him the last game when he had a little dribble handoff and he turned it up, and how, I mean, he can. So you got to show that. You got to bring that. But I don't think it's any different than most young guys coming in. They feel like to impress people, coaches, whatever, is they've got to make shots. They got to shoot the ball, and that's the furthest thing. There's a role that guys have to play, and he's buying in. He has bought into that role, and but there's never been a doubt about him shooting it, because I mean I watch how hard he works at it. But it's what priorities is he putting it into? When is defense and rebounding going to trump that? And then when it does, that will become even easier to him. And I think he's getting to that point.
And John got in tonight, 22 minutes. What did you think of what he brought in his first action this year?
You know, I thought he would. You know, I thought a couple times he did try to score too much when he should have passed the ball. And but the biggest thing, we wanted to get him in game shape, try to get him to play. You know, the coaches were telling me to get him out, and I said no, I want him to play to just get some game shape, because I mean as much, and he's worked really hard the last couple of weeks while he's been hurt, running, doing anything and everything that's humanly possible you can do other than play basketball. And even with all that said and done, you know, one time tonight he in some ways he's ran as much as the other guys, but he has to come out one time tonight, which tells you that he knows, and we probably let him ride it a little bit longer than we probably would have, just to try to get him to get through that first wall of fatigue, and see if he can fight back. But overall, you know, John's been around. He knows what we're doing, and from an execution standpoint, I mean, he knows everything we got. But now he's just got to get himself back into, you know, the game shape.
Ben McKee, Rob Lewis, and Grant Ramey.
Rick, Josiah, Santiago, Olivier, it seems like they're not hesitating on either end of the floor. I mean, do you see that, and you think it's just a product of them being a year older?
I do think that has a lot to do with it, being around and understanding it, and understanding the game. I mean, as you get older, the game, you realize the game is a different game than you might have thought when you were younger. Understanding where they are successful, understanding, you know, what they have in their, you know, repertoire that they can use, or whatever it may be, and you know, and do what you do well. And I think those guys, first of all, you talk about three guys. I don't know if you can have three guys that work any harder, and they are always trying to get better. They're great. Josiah and Santi are as good as we've had, knowing how to use a scout report. Olivier's getting better with it. Younger guys don't understand how important that is yet, but overall, just I would say conditioning has a lot to do with it, and not just physically, but mentally, understanding how tough it is and how hard you've got to go, and how you can't take plays off. And that's one thing Olivier's doing better, especially defensively. And he had times where he would stop playing in the middle of possession and playing catch up the whole time. And he's getting much better at seeing what's coming before it actually happens, which again I think comes from playing and being older.
So you've had a lot of special freshmen, but not talent aside, but not Kennedy's maturity, is the mental side of his game. Where is he? How would you describe that?
I think what I would describe him, first of all, is he has great respect for his teammates. I mean, he really believes in his teammates. There's not any sense of entitlement on his part in any way, shape, or form. Rob, you know, he's competitive. But he wants to see everybody do well. He would tell you that he's learning a lot. I would tell you that I think he's got so much more that he can give, and he'll learn what he does. He'll end up making a lot of fix-it plays for us on the offensive end. I think he can do the same thing on the defensive end. And he was since the last game, and he wasn't very good against Martin. He wasn't. He defensively, and everybody's looking at him scoring, but from where we grade guys out defensively. But I will tell you, the last 3 days, or however many we've had, he's been tremendous, trying to work on the things that we asked him to do. I thought today he came in with a totally different, and I'm talking about more on the defensive end and those kind of plays. But what makes him special, he's very unselfish. He's all about team all the way, and his teammates, they know that, again, it's not about him, and he's never made it about him. I think that when you have the ability and talent that he has, and he's going to continue to learn so much more as time goes on. When I told him, I said, you're going to get game plan more and more as the year goes on. You're going to have to learn to deal with game plans and how people play you. But with that said, you've got to also fight for everything you get, every inch you get on that court. You got to fight for it on both ends.
At least on the offensive end, along those same lines, have you been surprised at how locked in he's been really since
Who?
Kennedy, the exhibition game, how locked in he's been?
No, you know what people have asked me about. I had a call right before I came in here. I had to get on the phone, and a guy asked me, "Did you know he was that good a shooter?" And my comment about that is, when we saw Kennedy back years ago, and we started talking to him, and we knew, and he knew that he had to get better as a shooter. Back when he was, 9th, 10th grade, but watching how hard he's worked at that over the years, and is he capable of what he's doing? Yes, he is. And but I think the reason he's good at that because that's not what he bases his game on. He's a more of an assist to turnover guy. Can I get guys looks? Can I play high percentage basketball? And it's not like he's out there trying to prove to people that he can shoot the ball. And if you go back and think about how he has shot it well, I don't know if he's had anywhere he's shot it outside of his rhythm, outside of his comfort zone, which is a great thing. But people will decide how they're going to have to play, and they want to back off, they want to climb it, whatever it may be, and that's where I think he's just going to continue to grow as a player because he's got different levels of speed now. I mean, he can go from 1 to 0. I mean, from 0 to 10 pretty quick, and now can he then know when to gear it down and go again? But he's already improved with that too.
Finish up right here in the back.
Coach, we were able to see Jonas Idu enter the game for the first time this season. Is he someone we should expect to see implemented into the game plan more as the season goes on, or is that still to be determined?
It'll be based on he's been out. He's missed a lot. He missed a very important time of the year. We know there's a player there in Jonas. We all as a coaching staff, we have great belief in him. But now he missed a critical time of the year, and he's going to have to work his way back in. And he's going to have to do it through practice habits and do that because right now we're in the process of playing games and we don't have many easy ones left. We're going to have to fight everywhere. I don't think the ones we didn't go into the first 2 games thinking they were easy because we played teams that are well coached, played hard. But Jonas is going to again, it's a matter of him too getting in the kind of condition that he needs to get in. Understanding that it's a whole different ball game than he's ever played, but as a staff, we believe in him and we think he can do it. And if he does bring length. He blocks shots every day in practice. He's long. He can shoot the ball, pass the ball. He's going to have to catch up with the conditioning and the speed of how we play to get the minutes that he wants to get.
Coach, thank you.
All right, thank you guys.
Have a